Phil Yates was on with Adam the Bull on the Bet Rivers podcast, the Bullpen with Adam the Bull. Make sure you guys check that out. Shout out to him. He has some really good guests as of late. So you always want to salute him. Make sure you check that out and subscribe to his channel as well. Phil Yates was on talking a little bit about everything. Really good interview. Talked about fantasy football. Talked about everything going on with AFC North preview with the Browns and AFC North. But he has some fascinating words to say about Deshaun Watson and why you shouldn't be surprised and why you shouldn't count him out, because he still thinks there's a chance that he can get back to where he was.
But at this point, I don't know what to expect for Deshaun Watson. When the Browns traded for him 2 years ago, I celebrated. I was on the air when the news broke, and I was like, for the first time, maybe in franchise history, the Browns have an elite quarterback. This guy, before the everything that happened, he looked like he was the second best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, he's been suspended, he's been injured, and frankly, he's been pretty bad when he's played for the most part. Do you have any hope, and should Browns fans have any hope, that he can still be, if not the quarterback that we saw in Houston, anywhere close to it?
I have some hope, but it obviously decreases by the year, right?
No doubt.
Even though he is ostensibly a little bit healthier, although the comments from Kevin Stefanski recently that talked about kind of like the management plan for Deshaun Watson weren't exactly what I wanted to hear. I kind of was hoping he'd say in June or May, I should say, hey, Deshaun's good. We're fired up. It's going to be 100% this season, at least going into it. So I'm mindful of the fact that he has to manage that shoulder issue further going forward. That being said, there is some hope, because I don't know how much precedent there is for a player who I believe at the time of the trade was 27, maybe 26, 28, somewhere in that range, 26 to 28, who up until the trade had been, as you mentioned, objectively one of the best players in the NFL, who a couple of years later, including the fact that he did not play, obviously, for a full season in Houston. And then, was it 12 games, 13 games in Cleveland for the first year? 11, excuse me.
Yeah.
12 weeks, 11 games. Right. So that's a, nearly 2-year hiatus, but still, it's not like Deshaun during those 2 years took a bunch of hits that contributed to it. It just feels like a player who perhaps has lost all the confidence in himself that probably contributed to him being, a college champion, college football national champion, and then obviously a very, very good player with the Houston Texans. So I don't know the answer in terms of how likely it is that he gets back on track. I just know that at this point, if the Browns hadn't done as masterful of a job building the roster around him as they have, we'd be talking about that trade as potentially one of the worst of all time. There's certainly time for Deshaun to turn this around. He's got 2 more seasons under contract, 3 or 2. This is year 3.
This is year 3. So
year 3, so 3 more, excuse me. Yeah. So there's a chance for Deshaun to flip the narrative here a little bit.
Shout out to Phil Yates. Shout out to Adam the Bull, and that was courtesy of Bet Rivers and the Bullpen with Adam the Bull. Make sure you guys check that out and go subscribe to the channel. You know what? Let me just go ahead and talk to you, Deshaun, real quick. I want to talk to you, brother to brother, real quick. See, sometimes I remember, when I got into the game, and I started doing this sports talk thing. I bring the energy. I keep it real 100% of the time. I try to keep it real. I try to entertain. I try to bring that energy, and I try to bring that thing where I'm trying to be myself. I'm nobody else, right? There's a lot of times when you get in the game, people compare you to a lot of different people. People used to compare me to Quincy Carey, right? And, they used to say, oh, they come on here. You know what, G. Bush, you're not Quincy. You're not Quincy. Quincy is 100 times better than you. See, they do that little stuff in order for you to trick you out your position. No one ever said that I was trying to be Quincy. And Quincy always talks about it. He's not trying to be me. There's more than enough room in this place, in this industry, for 2 people to coincide and do good work. And I made it a point to not only not listen to that, I wanted a point to reach out to Quincy and to develop a relationship with him, to let him know that, hey, we could collaborate, we could work together, we can, we can build off this stuff. Don't let other people project stuff on you and put you in a box to how you got to move. And one of the things that they do, and a lot of that, this happens a lot in the world, is people will trick you out your position. They'll tell you that, all you need to do is win. And then if you win and you go 5-1, they say that don't count. What you mean? What you mean that don't count? Like, oh no, he has to play better. Or they'll tell you, well, you know what? If you put up a whole bunch of yards like you did in Houston, then they'll say, well, you put up those yards in Houston and you were 4-12. Well, I thought you said you wanted me to put numbers up. Oh, so you want me to put numbers up and win? No, we don't want that. We want you to be a leader. When you were hurt and injured, you should have been on the field like Joe Burrow was, talking to your people. I just had surgery. No, we don't need to see that. You need to be down there talking to your people. So hold on. I got to be the leader even when I'm hurt, even though I could get more injured by getting ran over on the sidelines. You don't like the fact I was in the press box and you say I did win, but the 5-1 don't matter because somehow I didn't throw for enough. Y'all see how you do? Here's what I want. Here's what you need to do. And I'm just going to give you the key to it. At the end of the day, it's a lot of people that ain't never played where you played, done what you done, and ain't going to make the money that you're going to make. They're not going to like you regardless of whatever the case may be. But the one piece of advice I can give to you is this. Be yourself. Be cocky. Be arrogant. Be bold. People say, hey, when you get to the end zone, hand the ball to the referee. BS. What if I don't want to hand the ball to the referee? Maybe I want to celebrate. Maybe I want to be happy. Maybe I want to show people that I'm able to do certain things that you can't do. If that makes you insecure, I'm sorry. If my bombastic voice makes you feel lesser of a guy, I'm sorry. If you ain't got the money I got, but didn't put in the work and time that I put in, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I look good. I'm sorry that I could drive a Rolls Royce. I'm sorry that you might like the fact that my girlfriend looked better than yours. I'm sorry I can't prove. Maybe my diamonds make you uncomfortable. See, but here's the thing. You can't conform to what everybody isn't or wasn't or don't. Go out there, and if you want to wear jewelry under your jersey and you want to put on Instagram how many times you bought a car, that's on you. Live your truth. Be you. At the end of the day, you can only be who you are. And sometimes they try to put you in a box so tough that they give you the parameters of their lives. Yeah, that ain't their life. There's people out here. Listen, let me just give you a case. I'm just letting you know. There's a lot of people that be doing what I'm doing right now, that sitting up here talking, doing all kind of crazy stuff. And guess what? They ain't never did it, ain't never gonna do it, ain't never gonna be about it. But yet and still they got all the advice in the world. How do you get back to doing what you need to do? It always seems to be the best people in the world that seem to always get the advice that, listen, they told Myles Garrett he should be at OTAs. And you know all he did? All he did was win Defensive Player of the Year. Stop telling me what I need to do based on you. See, you and me ain't the same. And sometimes you got to remind people you and me ain't the same. Sometimes it's a time to be humble and it's a time to call people out. Sometimes it's a time to show people what you're talking about and then remind them, yeah, remember? Every time you throw a touchdown, tell them, remember, this was the worst trade in history. I'm going to keep dropping touchdowns on you until you remember that there was way worse trades. Remember? Hey, sometimes I told you so is the energy you need to have. Because right now, they taking you as some chump. They think they really think like 11 games, they done wrote you off in the crystal ball. Guess what? Sometimes you might have to be petty. Yep. Worst trade in history, 5 touchdowns. Take that to the bank. And sometimes when you bet on yourself and put yourself in that position, ain't nobody do nothing with that. Ain't nobody do with it. They say, G. Bush, you talk a lot. You're hyperbole. I am. I'm the Duke of knee jerk. If you don't like what I'm moving, find another channel. If you don't like what I'm tweeting, find another one. And sometimes you got to say, the difference between me and you is I get paid to do this. You do this at the water cooler. Puts perspective on it. You need to let people know I throw touchdowns in real life. I'm a national champion in real life. I strum my guitar in real life. I got bread. I got the bag, and I expect myself to play good. Don't let anybody emasculate you. Live your life. Stand on what you're standing on, and rock out. Because you best believe this. There's a lot of people that's betting on you, but they ain't as loud as the people betting against you. I thought that was dope. I thought that was a great monologue. If you like my monologue, put it in the comment section.